Looks like the sun is out. Shall we? Ready to start your Sunday? Not in a hurry Sunday. Find T-Rex. Found him. He was in the bedroom. Come on, Rex, this way. Yeah, that's sunshine. All right. It looks like we're all calm and we're all ready. Are you ready, Rex? It's not in a hurry Sunday, so take your time, okay? Just take your time. Everyone take your time. It's just past 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Not in a hurry Sunday, we like to call them. My favorite Sundays where I don't really have to go anywhere or do anything and watch the weather and edit the weather. And look at Steve using the path that we shoveled for him. It's the little things in life, isn't it? A few days ago, we never thought we'd have to shovel a path for Steve and T-Rex. So weather does unexpected things all the time. It's the nature of the event. It remains unpredictable, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. The clouds from that departing storm are still visible in the east. That storm deepened to hurricane force. It's a 964 millibar low pressure system, and it's generating winds. You can use this null school and put the cursor over, and it says 124 kilometers per hour. It says that in the lower left there. And that translates to 76 miles per hour sustained wind with the storm that went by yesterday. Once again, it was a weak low crossing the nation, taking a mostly southern track. Incidentally, it's different from the one that we had here in the Northeast. They just kind of merged yesterday. So that was the one that dropped the snow in Atlanta. So 76 mile an hour sustained. Steve was just digging a hole in the snow. I wanted to get it, but T-Rex and Steve crossing paths and crossing ropes. It's a special day. It's a birthday today for, I guess it would be a kind of a grand niece when your nephew and his wife have a baby. McKenzie Rose Kelley and mom, Beth, in Atlanta, Georgia, 2 days ago. She saw her first snow at the age of 354 days, but it was in Atlanta. At first, she didn't look too pleased, but then she started to like it. Wow, what is this? Well, we got as much snow here in the Boston area as they did in Atlanta from yesterday. Cape Cod didn't really get the snow yesterday. It kind of snowed off and on, so it was mostly just right here in sort of the Boston area and the Merrimack Valley. Here are the snowfall amounts. My house, I put in 2.6. That's the number there near just south of Boston. And then once you get up on, it looks like Tingsboro had 4.1. So definitely not a huge storm, but that's about 2 to 3 inches more than forecast. When you forecast 0 to 2, you don't think that the plows are going to have to come out, but the plows did have to come out. It's a huge difference between 0 to 2 and 2 to 4, in my book anyway. And the National Weather Service wasn't even issuing any winter weather advisories or anything, not even a special weather statement. I don't know what was going on there. And so Cape Cod, I mentioned Cape Cod. Yesterday, Jeff Mers went for a walk down in Brewster, as he does just about every day, goes down the north side. He fishes most of the season, but he was just spectating, and this is what he saw there in Brewster and Cape Cod Bay yesterday. Thank you, Jeff, for these shots of the ice. I said, wow, that looks really big. Can you put it in context? He said it's about waist high chunks of ice. So the ice building has begun. It's the middle of January. It's here. And so in that sense, we are having kind of an old-fashioned winter. And the way that ice gets so chunky is because that northwest wind really sends it in there to the elbow of the Cape, on the Cape Cod Bay. We don't really have any ice here. It just hasn't been cold enough, and it hasn't been calm enough. Now, talking about high pressure and low pressure, the high pressure systems, the cold high pressure systems have really taken over the pattern. Looking down there, looking for some ice, and I see some orange fencing. The town's going to be doing a lot of work. We're going to see a lot of work being done on this cliff over the next year, probably. So T-Rex, just going to have to be patient. What's he stuck down here? Yeah, why don't we go down here and check some of the gauges? Rex, I'm coming. Where are you? He's stuck. So there's the ice bucket and the snow measuring devices inside of it. Our gloves half on, half off. So how much snow is left? I think this is a perfect place to measure the snow. And It's still right around 2.6. That's what I reported yesterday. So there's solid ice under there. And the wind doesn't come too bad in here, so it's a good place to measure the snow. In the front yard, I did measure 4, but I talk about how it's always so subjective. All right, sorry about this. I know we got a lot of work to do out here, cleaning things up all the time, but it looks all better. Your mess looks a lot better when it's covered in snow, doesn't it? There's the thermometer. Clean that off a little bit. It says 22.46, 27 degrees. So is it cold air advection? Kind of cold air advection. Top of Mount Washington this morning. Pretty interesting that the coldest place on the mountain, around 3,300, was in the low teens. And then 44,000 was up around low 20s. But the wind was only about 30, 40 miles an hour. So that's good news. So a tremendous day for skiing. The sun did come out at the mountains today. There's Mount Mansfield, and I'm sure those groomers are great. And it did snow, though, since midnight. It's near Cape Cod it was snowing, and also in Maine it was snowing. I went to the Brownville Food Pantry for deer, and the deer had a little snow on their backs. They seemed like they were being pretty cute this morning. So today is day 12 in a row with snow somewhere in New England, and that's every day this year. All right, so I've been talking about the high pressure systems in control, and the old cold high that dominated last week is now a weakening high over the southeastern United States. So in eastern New England, we're on the backside of that storm flow with the wind from the north, but then once you get west of New England, it's the backside of that high pressure system with a low coming across the Midwest that's technically warm air advection, even though it's pretty cold. That old cold high goes south of us, and the return flow should get us above freezing in parts of southern New England tomorrow. And on Friday, we ended up in the 40s, so this could happen. Here's the weather.us, Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. I like it's representative for the area. And it used to be a 3 to 5 day meteogram. Well, my buddy Jörg Kackelmann, he's a meteorologist in Switzerland. I've known him for about 30 years. He owns this website. And he's always making bigger and better weather products. And now the 3 to 5 day has turned into a 15-day meteogram. And the same old red line is the temperature, blue line is the dew point. You can see the temperature getting just above freezing tomorrow, and then going down again as the wind picks up Tuesday and Wednesday. High temperatures at that point back in the 20s with lows in the teens. Another cold blast coming in Tuesday, Wednesday. And then that time we've been talking about for a big pattern transition is around the 20th. And you do see snowflakes, maybe some raindrops starting to show up there. But there are little things that are going on between now and then. So here is the Euro. This is from pivotalweather.com. It's also a free website, but both of those websites are free. But I do pay a subscription fee because I want to support. And plus, I am making a dime a day off of my YouTube channel using these graphics. Pivotal weather. So that high pressure system over the southeast, that's going to push off. Now you have a low coming across the Great Lakes, and there's another low. You can't even see it. It's so far south off the map. Split flow. Low pressure going across Florida next 2 days, and low pressure coming into the Midwest as their new Arctic boundary is going to press south through New England. I've been talking about the possibility of a northern trough, and it still may exist, but it doesn't really show up much anymore. Instead, just snow showers and squalls come in with low pressure going along that Arctic front and redeveloping in Maine very quickly. Monday night, Tuesday, all of a sudden it's windy and cold, harsh chill, wind chill on Tuesday night and Wednesday. But this high on this one is going to go to our south. So the return flow should get us back to seasonable chill, January seasonable chill around freezing on Friday as the wind dies down Thursday and Friday. And then low pressure is going to track to our north, it looks like, on Friday night. That's going to push a polar and then an Arctic boundary down into New England on this next weekend. And now you're looking at a 1054 millibar high pressure system way out there over the Rockies, and one low after another missing us to the south. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I don't think so, but we will stop it. I've been talking about January 20th for a pattern transition. So I'm going to stop it at 1 p.m. on Monday, January 20. And sure enough, there's a snowstorm. See it? Way down there. 1,007 millibar low. That's a weak low in the Gulf of Mexico. And a 1054 powerful high. The high pressure systems have been in control. Possible blizzard somewhere between New Orleans and Dallas and Huntsville. in the deep south. Amazing. Now, I don't think this is going to be exactly right, but you get the point. Sorry, T-Rex just ran over my foot. They're all tangled up. Rex, come here. Back to in motion here. So that low then does go off, and it scrapes southern New England with some snow around late Monday, the 20th, into Tuesday, the 21st. And then I'll stop it out at 240 hours. I think that's 7 p.m. Tuesday or Wednesday, 21st or the 22nd. And it shows just a broad area of cold. I mean, we're talking deep record cold, and the front is supposedly just off to our south, and there's another low coming across the Midwest that's going to reinforce the cold going into the last week of January. And all right, a little time out here. Intermission. You're a Maine Coon cat. You should like this. T-Rex, gonna take my glove off. He's a whiner. Sorry about this. Not in a hurry Sunday. You can't watch these videos if you're in a hurry. Is that right? Are you cool there, Steve? You're fine? Can I just finish this up real quick? We're passing 12 minutes now. I guess the point I'm trying to make is I think it's going to get very active here, and the chance for southern New England snowstorms is really increasing starting around January 19th and then through the end of January. And I think the ice is going to get thicker before it gets thinner, even though there'll be some minor thinning this week. So for Inmore, yesterday I was just like a little kid watching it snow, watching the forecasts not really change. So it was nowcast day. Okay, we've got an inch. We've got our coating to an inch. All right, now we have our 1 to 2. All right, now we have our 2 to 3. Okay, when's it going to stop? Are the plows being deployed? Yes, the plows were deployed. Went over to Stop and Shop, and they said, yeah, it was really busy when it was snowing. I don't know why it gets so busy, but I just wanted to make some chicken soup, and I did make a really gourmet, I think, chicken soup, and I did use vegetables from the 24 Summer Garden, Angela. That's one of the butternuts that we grew, and I had to Google it to find out what that other yellow thing was, and it turns out it's an acorn squash, an ornamental, and it's really hard to peel. But it's got to peel if you put it in your soup. So that was really fun. At the same time, the football games were on. I was sort of a casual football watcher now. And it looks like Houston's going on. I don't even know who won that Green Bay-Pittsburgh game. I honestly don't. But I will watch the Bills. The nice snow sculpture out in front of the Bills football stadium this morning. I don't know who made that, but it's good. So I'm going to be eating soup and watching football this afternoon. And World Cup skiing looks like it was really exciting. Maybe we'll see some repeats of that on the TV. Not in a hurry Sunday, and may go check the ice in some spots. So here's the and more from yesterday. I feel like I'm forgetting something I wanted to add here, but that's always the case because I put more in my brain than I can even remember. All right, yeah, the moon. Oh, yeah, the moon. That's right. I was thinking about that. What the moon looked like out the bedroom window this morning at 4 a.m. It was so windy, it woke me up. I was like, it's not supposed to be this windy. But the moon was spectacular. So I think that's still a very high north moon. I think that lunar standstill we talked about last month is still in effect, where we get the moon lingering longer and farther north than usual. And you have all the other planets of Venus and Mars and Jupiter and Saturn all in the sky. And then Janet got the moon set over Boston yesterday. So watch for the moon and the planets and the stars. Timeanddate.com is your website for that. All right. Not in a hurry. Here's some and more from yesterday. Talk to you tomorrow. My friends on Twitter. Oh, X, I'm sorry. Both Pete, Northeast Mass, and Scott, where are you, Scott? Cape Cod or Connecticut, showing this meso low east of Hull right now. That's right over there. What's going on? Can we get that broad circulation going better? That's the Hull gut right there. Visibility's back down to about a mile, and our air is from the northwest, which correlates with that meso low. There's our bird feeder. There's our cat. It's a Maine Coon. Let's see how much snow we can cover Steve with today. I'm editing out the door weather and more. It'll be ready in a few minutes. Definitely getting more interesting near Boston and just south of Boston with some enhancement clearly coming in off of the ocean. And our visibility just went back down below 3/4 of a mile, or just to about 3/4 of the mile. Get some nice fat flakes, passing about an inch of snow with about 5 or 6 hours to go. When it gets dark, it's going to be most interesting, I think, especially if we can keep this ocean band going. Weather and more and more and more. 1 p.m. update. Looks like we're down to less than a half mile, pretty close to 1/4 of a mile visibility now. It looks like it's coming down maybe an inch an hour.
That's for real for the first time. Good boy. Come here. I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right. Why aren't you flying up north then?
I know, because it's snowing harder here, you know. And
That's true. Good point. We'll go south.
Plus,
then.
yeah, right.
You know.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it. I'm gonna shovel for you. Look at him. All right, Rex, this way. Thanks, Mike. Okay, talk to you. Good boy. We gotta go shovel. I've been promising T-Rex I was gonna take him for a walk for a while, but I have to shovel a path because once you walk on your snow and it's wet, it's gonna get stuck like ice there. So I'm gonna shovel us a path, Rex, and I'll be right back, okay? We'll go for a walk in a second. Not fluffy. And watch what happens when I try and put the leash on Rex. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, so it looks like the plows are going to have to come out here in Weymouth, at least on the back roads. So when you forecast not even a winter weather advisory and you have a couple inches of snow on the road, it's called the overachiever. That's what we have. 2 o'clock, by the way. 2:30 update. It just let up all of a sudden while we were out there walking. I just did the path down from our house down to the shelf. And look at all the clearing that's been done here. I don't know why we couldn't do this every year, but we have a view again. There's snow on the beach all the way down to the water line. How is it out there? Is the storm over at 2:30? I don't think so. I think it's just taking a breath. That wasn't the guidance. Boston about 11 miles in that direction, so visibility is greatly improved, but we still can't see Boston. And I can't feel my fingers. All right. Okay, there's Matt in the red and Steve in the white. Everyone comfortable? Everyone cozy? As the snow has briefly let up outdoors. But we can't see Boston, so I don't think it's over. Love seeing snow on the beach below the high tide line. And loving cats. Matt, get yourself in out the door, weather and more. Just about 4 o'clock, we had a lull. Now, darker green filling back in both from the northwest and the northeast. So it's about to start getting dark and colder. And it's about 30 degrees now. Wind looks like it's almost due north. Fishermen gonna fish. Yeah, so before we can go out and look around though, we have to take care of our driveway. I shoveled it once a little while ago, but it's steep and it doesn't look like much, but it's icy. So I'm gonna have to postpone checking the ice around town for now. Just heard a sander truck go by, or salt truck, but no plow so far. 4 o'clock. Light snow, technically. Let's do a couple measurements. About on this chair. 1.4. Now this has been a tub of ice, so nothing melted on this. All right, that's 2.8. And then you just go around randomly. Yeah, it's very subjective. The cement, 2.6. And the grass next to the rose bush, 2.8. And so on and so on. Pretty. I don't think we expected more than an inch, really. But the call I made this morning was around 2.8. Look quote-unquote equivalent. We'll try and get that later, although it doesn't look like that much is going in there. How about down here next to the fire pit? About 2.6. So I guess we'll put it in, it's about 2.6, but this is on the north side. This is the warmest side with the wind coming in off the water. I can probably walk up the hill or especially drive to Faxon Park or something like that and find a lot more. So 2.6 at 4 o'clock. Birds did not eat all their seed yet today. I'll put some more in before I go to bed. And there's all their tracks. Fun, leather tracks. Back of the house got a little bit pasted, not that much though compared to some of the wetter storms and heavier storms. Orange Jeep still lives, kinda. Hey Tyler, mind if I borrow your snow stick? I don't think we've used it since the winter solstice. Yeah, we went off to the tropics there for a week or two, then I went up to Vermont and we're just back now. And it snowed harder today in Weymouth than it did in northern Vermont today anyway. So what do we get? As I've mentioned, snow measurement is subjective. This says close to 4 inches, but in the backyard we got about 2.5. So you can almost make it say whatever you want. So if I average up the back at 2.5 and the front at 4, a little over 3 inches of snow out of a forecast of a coating to an inch. It's what we call an overachiever. Forecast blunder. And I know it was easy to find a place. Plows were deployed today in Hingham, Massachusetts. Stop and Shop Plaza. It's kind of funny because if we had ever called for 3 inches of snow, the grocery store would have been packed yesterday. Is there a rush on the grocery store? If they don't forecast snow, the grocery stores don't make as much money, right? I'm supporting the cause. Freshies. Fast to the door. Don't get in the way. That's the trick. This is the weekend. The lights are coming down, but due to the fact that it's snowing outside, we waited a little longer. Mitt, where are you going? We're gonna go downstairs. All right, without you. 6 p.m. It sounds like the wind is whistling. I shoveled him a path, but he's not using it. I think the snow is done. So we're gonna go leave it in the books as about 2.7. Round it up. And on a Steve there, looks like it's just over his ankles. So ankle deep on Steve. And I think that's actually knee deep on T-Rex. What do you think, Steve? You like it? Do it. Go chase something. So we finally got it over Steve's knees. And I'll just play it out with a time lapse from Weymouth, where it was a very fun day. As a forecaster, you want to get it right. But as a snow lover, you want it to overachieve. All right, thanks everybody for watching. This winter's just getting warmed up, so to speak. Talk to you tomorrow.